It's beautiful Wednesday, August 20th, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's #1 casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack, blackjack match, roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards, and 10 days, baby.
We're almost there. Almost there.
Now, I know a lot of you are getting back into the routine of listening to the podcast. And as I got this text from one of my buddies last week, he said, listen to my first Oklahoma breakdown of the season today. I'm ready to be hurt again. So I know some people are, hey, just coming back into the fold with the podcast. Just do us a solid favor. Make sure wherever you consume the podcast, whether it's YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or something else, just subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed. That helps us out. So Go ahead and do that for us. If you're a YouTube person, we are going to do an In the Weeds on just some of the core runs in Ben Arbuckle's system, so you guys can kind of have a better understanding of some of the terminology we use when we are recapping the games this season. So we're planning on having that out tomorrow afternoon at some point. So we're hoping that'll be helpful for you guys. And then one last thing before we get to the freshmen that are going to play for Oklahoma is Opolis has a new batch of OU shirts for the season.
I need to get in on that.
OpolisClothing.com, promo code TED for 10% off. They got a lot of cool ones.
Still the best t-shirts and hoodies out.
Dude, just so soft. All right, let's get to the freshmen that are going to play. So this conversation includes redshirt freshmen. I figured that made a lot of sense. So these are guys on OU's roster that are listed as true freshmen or redshirt freshmen that are going to play a role for this team this season. It's kind of like, hey, these are some of the young guys that you need to know. So guys like David Stone and Davon Jordan, even a guy like Reggie Powers, those guys are technically sophomores because they played last year. Like Davon Jordan and Reggie Powers played a lot on special teams. You may not have noticed, but those guys are listed as sophomores. So they're not going to be in this conversation. We're talking freshmen and redshirt freshmen. Ted, would you like to start on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball?
Offense.
Offense has more guys to talk about, so good choice, sir. Does the conversation start with Fasusi, Blaylock, or Thomas, or Fodje? Like, there are some guys that are going to be factors on the offensive side of the ball for this team.
I think it has to start with Fasusi. I mean, I think a lot of those guys, there's potential for plenty of guys to make a big impact, but if Fasusi has a chance to be your starting left tackle, I think it's got to start right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, he will be the mountain of a man wearing 56. It's kind of hard to miss. Looks exactly the way you want a left tackle to look. And starting at left tackle as a true freshman is a very real possibility for Michael Fasusi. And let's be real. That's why you paid him all the money to come here.
Right.
That's just how the sport works now. But he has been everything they thought he would be and more. And with as much time as Sexton has missed during camp, it'll be interesting to see if he runs out there first against Illinois State.
Yeah.
Maybe it is Sexton. I don't know. A lot can happen over these next 10 days. But either way, Michael Fasusi is going to be playing a lot of snaps for this team. And if you're looking at guys to be excited about, this may shock some people. He's at the top of my list of the freshmen I'm excited about. Could have something to do with the whole O-line thing. But he is just, Ted, he's just been so good throughout spring and throughout training camp for a true freshman offensive tackle. It's been really impressive.
Yeah. No, he is. I mean, the amount he's developed since he started in spring to where he is now, you could just almost see it on a practice by practice basis. He's, there's going to be freshman mistakes in there, but what I like about him is he doesn't seem to be a guy that has his faults and doesn't improve on those. It feels like he's constantly up in his game every time I see him, and he's quick, he's smart, he's tough, plays with an edge. Even as a freshman, he's out there, he's playing angry, comes off the ball in the run game. I mean, it's all upside right now. And, it's just kind of one of those things is you almost have to hit a moving target with Fasusi whenever you're making a decision on is he starting or not, because it may be close right now, but if you label him the starter, it may not be close in a month, and he's got 3-4 starts under his belt, because we have not seen peak Fasusi. He is scratching the surface right now, and I could really envision him being one of those guys that, if he is the starter, or even if he's not, looks like a freshman, has some freshman moments throughout the early part of the year, but by the end of the season, really starting to find some great consistency and looking like a totally different player.
I think when you look at Sexton versus Fasusi, you have to assume that Sexton, with the experience, just has a better understanding of what's going on out there on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe not from a what the offense is doing, but from a what the defense is trying to do to you standpoint. Just with all the experience, all the snaps that he's played. And Sexton is a stronger player at this point in time. But one thing that really has stood out to me about Fasusi is just the athleticism and the ability to recover because of that athleticism.
Yeah.
That's something you don't hear a lot of people talk about very often. Is, hey, how does this guy handle getting beat?
Right.
Because it's going to happen. And whether it's run game or especially in pass protection, I've been very impressed with Fasusi's ability, like when a guy gets on his edge, to be able to recover because of how good of an athlete he is. That's very, very important at the offensive tackle position. So there are some things that, Sexton has an advantage over Fasusi, and some things that Fasusi has an advantage over Sexton. I trust Beanbo to make the proper decision, but it's not completely foreign to see a true freshman start at left tackle in the SEC. All you have to do is go back a couple years. LSU started 2 of them.
Yeah.
And the one guy they started at left tackle ended up being pretty good. I mean, I know it was back when Texas was in the Big 12, but we saw him do that with Kelvin Banks as well. Just kind of throw him in the fire.
Yeah.
He ended up being a really, really good player by the time he left. So I don't know if he's going to start or not against Illinois State, but he's going to play a lot, and I'm very excited to watch him play.
It wouldn't surprise me, like, even if he doesn't start, that he ends up playing the most snaps of anyone at left tackle,
Right.
Depending on how that game, like, really maybe no matter how that game goes, you want to get him some reps where, the first time he's taking the field, you don't want it to be against Michigan, and you have that out-of-body experience, like, what am I doing out here in this environment right now? So, no, but he's going to be fun, and he's going to be a big part of what they do the whole season.
Tory Blaylock, probably the next guy to talk about.
Yeah.
Number 6. Certainly doesn't look like a freshman, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope.
And Ted, he's been rolling with the 1s and 2s all of training camp. Usually if you're doing that, you're playing snaps. And I've been really impressed with his consistency. He's got a great build for a running back. Looks like he's ready to play. And maybe the number one thing that has stood out to me, because I usually believe it's the number one issue with young running backs, is He seems to know what he's doing in pass protection. And he seems to be identifying the proper guys. And then he's not scared to stick his face in there. He's had some, when I've been out to practice, he's had some really nice reps in blitz pickup. And
Yeah.
that's usually my number one concern for a young back. But
It's usually the last thing that comes, you know. It's just something you don't do in high school. So it's like a totally foreign situation with the animals that you have to block out there. But I'll tell you, for me, he's maybe been the most impressive guy that I've seen just with the amount of workload he had to take because they had some injuries and guys out early in camp. And I mean, I think I say this a lot, but if you just walked up and didn't know anything about Oklahoma, you would not expect to hear that number 6 is a true freshman in his first camp of big time college football. He is fast, he's quick, he's explosive. He is way better between the tackles than I imagined he was going to be this early in the spring. Saw him on the perimeter, several times and really loved what I saw and thought that that was kind of going to have to be the area where they utilize him. But he put on like 20 pounds in the offseason, is over 200 pounds now, and he runs really well between the tackles. I think he is for a true freshman, especially, I think he is an excellent every down back.
I'm not sure if he's RB2 or RB3, RB4. Like, I don't know, but it feels like with how consistent he's been in camp and the amount of work he's done and the level he's played at, he's earned time. Like meaningful time, like early in the game reps.
If it wasn't for Ott being on the roster, even though he's missed a lot of camp, I mean, I would say he's RB1. I really like what Barnes has done, but I still feel like Barnes is a little bit more of a situational type player, maybe than Blaylock is. And now Barnes can do everything. Clearly, I just think that Blaylock is a little more versatile, but I don't
He
know.
he he's got a little more juice.
Yeah,
And some people may say, what's juice? You kind of know it when you see it.
just it's it. He's he. I don't know. I really like Barnes between the tackles, pouring downhill. He's a load to tackle and tough to bring down. We talk about it a lot. He's an absolute hammer in pass protection. But Blaylock is a guy, get him out of the backfield, passing concepts. They find a lot of different ways to get him the football. So, I mean, I'd be shocked if he doesn't play a ton of reps. Even if Jay Knott is full go 100%, I would still expect to see Blaylock quite a bit.
I would be very surprised if there's not a couple plays in the opener that make the fan base go, whoa, look at 6.
Yep.
Because every time I've been out to practice, there's a couple plays where I go, look at 6.
Yeah.
So
And it could be a number of different ways they get him the ball, too. It's not just turn and hand it.
I saw the guy catch a back shoulder for a touchdown with one hand. I was just like, wait a second, what's going on here? So when your head coach is saying he's as impressed with you as he's been with any freshman, that's a pretty significant statement.
It is.
I think he's going to play a ton in the opener, and I'm really excited to see what he does because you know how it works, man. You get into a game, you start feeling that adrenaline. If you're a guy with juice, you got to eat. You got to even a little more when you're on that stage. And I'm excited to see what even a little more juice looks like for Blaylock.
No, I totally agree. I've been thrilled with him, and he's been, if you go all the way back to spring and just kind of whenever we put together this recruiting class, he's been, at least for me, a guy that I consider to be one of the best surprises. Knew he was going to be a good player, but It's all happened way quicker than I expected.
Next in the conversation on offense for freshman little play, Fodje or Thomas?
Fodje.
Fodje. I think Thomas. It'll be interesting to see which one of these guys plays more snaps in the opener. But you said Fodje, so we'll go Fodje. Number 70, very difficult to miss. People, he's enormous. Ryan Fodje. He's had a really solid training camp. I think naturally he's gotten a little. He's taken a ton of reps, gotten a little worn down. I don't think that's uncommon, but still, this guy is everything that they were hoping he would be. And I think Bill is going to see what he's got in non-conference play. We've seen Beanbo do that throughout the past. Like, hey, let's tinker with some different lineups. With the Michigan game in week 2, maybe things are a little different there. But this is a guy that they're going to see how he responds to the game day atmosphere. He's been really, really solid in camp. And let's be real. Guy looks like he was made in an offensive guard lab. I mean, he looks fantastic. So I'm excited to see what he does with this opportunity in the opener because he's going to play a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think he is a guy that they're going to plant at right guard, or is he a guy that could maybe play both? What do you expect there?
I have only seen him play right guard. That doesn't mean he's not capable of playing left guard, but if you want to have Wee Woo and Fodje on the field at the same time, do I love taking the veteran guy and making him change positions? Maybe not, but I know they trust Wee Woo to do that because of how smart he is and just, he's taken some of those left guard reps.
Yeah.
But you could also just say, hey, Fabechi, we're playing Illinois State. Take a couple series off, man. You've been awesome in camp. You've been our most consistent lineman. He's been their best lineman. Come take a seat, rest up for Michigan. Let's let the young guy get some run. Yeah. I don't think that's crazy to imagine.
Yeah. I hope so, because Fodje is fun to watch. He is a bruiser on the inside. He, like you said, he's gigantic. He's physical. And he's another guy as a freshman, plays a little bit of edge to him.
Yeah. Elijah Thomas, number 14. Weird wide receiver number. That's okay. When you can run the way that he can run, you can wear weird numbers. Ted, the wide receiver position in general is very interesting. There's so many guys where it feels like they're going to get reps, but eventually you got to cut it down if you're Emmett Jones. But it feels like Elijah Thomas is just too explosive, too dynamic to not have that guy on the field for significant snaps. At least that's just how it feels to me.
Yeah, the way I view it is I feel like Elijah Thomas he's going to be a future superstar wide receiver. That's just kind of how I view him. Everything he does in practices, in scrimmages, it's like every catch is very loud. He's not a guy that they just feed the ball to a ton and he gets a ton of touches. It's usually on some type of deep ball, something explosive, and he's going over the top of people, laying out for a catch. He makes some loud plays. I don't know how many catches he'll have this year, but there's going to be some big moments from Elijah Thomas. I guarantee it.
He's one of those guys that, sure, you want him. He can run by guys. Like, he's got that ability. There's no doubt about it. But he's also one of these guys, maybe just, hey, Mateer just catches the ball and just throws it to him on a bunch of that quick screen stuff that Arbuckle did a lot of at Washington State. Like, just get the guy the ball in his hands.
Yep.
And let him go be extremely athletic. Like, he may be the most athletic guy in the entire wide receiver room.
Yeah.
So
do a little bit of everything.
You mentioned a lot of loud plays. One thing where he just has to improve is the boring stuff of playing the position.
Yeah.
He's got to be more consistent when it comes to, clearing out space for your buddies and blocking in the run game, which isn't exactly the fun part of the wide receiver position. But that's something with young receivers. Now, he's been mixing it up. I think he's improved that part of his game. But if he wants to end up being like a consistent part of this wide receiver rotation, he's got to continue to build that part of his game.
Totally agree. Totally agree. And, early on, before I don't know what the time frame is on Giovanni Gibson, but, if you get reps early before he's back, you're going to have to make them count if you want to stay in the mix, because it's a pretty deep group at wide receiver right now. And we'll see, who emerges as the best players, most consistent players out of that group. But it would not hurt Elijah Thomas early to get some good reps and to capitalize, make some plays, and do some things off the ball like you were talking about.
What other freshmen do you think will be in the mix on offense? What, Manny Choice?
Choice, he's looked good.
He looks incredible in a jersey. I know that.
Yeah, he's got great size to him. He does a really good job going up and getting the high throws. He's pretty athletic for being as tall as he is. He's pretty sudden. I think that, I don't know. I guess sometimes it's hard to tell with the rotations, but I think he'll get some opportunities for sure. And if he gets some targets in some good moments, he can make an impression.
No doubt. At what, 6'4" and 215 pounds?
Yep.
As a true freshman. I showed my wife a clip that OU football put out of him making a catch, and she was like, 21?
He running back?
And I go, yeah, what do you think? She goes, I kind of dig it. 21. Okay. So, hey, seal of approval from Mrs. Ikard. So that's a big deal. Daniel Okoye, Coach Venables has been very complimentary of UK Dan. He's gotten much better. I'm not sure he's going to be playing with how good they feel about the two deep on the interior. I kind of find it hard to imagine him playing significant snaps, like meaningful snaps for this team. But hey, keep working, keep stacking days, and you never know what's going to happen. So,
yeah, for as raw as he was coming in, he's made some really nice progress. And it still feels like he's some time away, but you never know. It's good to continue to develop that depth. You never know what may happen up front where you're forced into one of those situations, but I've seen some good stuff from him.
Okay, let's talk about the freshmen on defense that are going to be a factor for the Sooners this season. But first, taking a road trip this summer? Remember to stop at Love's Travel Stops. You can't miss the heart of the highway, and with the Love's app, you can save big all summer long. You can save 10 cents per gallon on gas and up to 25 cents per gallon on auto diesel. Save with the Love's app this summer and be welcomed by clean places and friendly faces. Certain conditions may apply. See loves.com for details.
Summer is here, and there's no better way to fire up your cookouts than with Didier Ranch's steak burgers made from 100% premium cuts of steak. These burgers are the real deal. Juicy, flavorful, and packed with that rich, beefy taste that you love. Plus, they're shipped right to your door, so you can spend more time doing what you love and less time shopping. Head over to DidierRanch.com now and use code SOONER for a special discount on your first order. Get ready to taste the best burgers you've ever had. Proudly raised 100% in Oklahoma. Didier Ranch, steak in every bite.
And we are brought to you by Simple Modern, the Oklahoma-owned company and the official drinkware partner of the OU Sooners. It's August in Oklahoma, and that can only mean one thing. OU football is back. Get ready for home games with us. Every home OU football game will feature exclusive limited edition drinkware drops, perfect for staying hydrated while you cheer on the Sooners. Each home game brings a brand new design only available while supplies last. So grab yours each game before they are gone. And with 10% of all Simple Modern profits going to charity, many right here in Oklahoma, you'll also know you're helping Oklahomans off the field as well. Simple Modern, good everywhere. All right, defensive freshman Remember, this is true freshman and redshirt freshman. And Ted, I cannot describe how giddy I was when I went to OU's roster and organized it by class. And I saw number 16, Danny Okoye, there as a redshirt freshman. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I was giddy. Giddy. Can you believe this guy with the way that he looks, the way that he moves? Can you believe this guy is a redshirt freshman?
He he's fully grown. This is a massive, extremely athletic, fast twitch, high. I mean, he's a ball of energy. I'm hoping that I know he's going to play a lot. I'm just hoping he finds some good consistency because I think a guy with his talent, it's going to be more about how big are the mistakes, not how big are the good moments, right? Because he's going to create some good moments, but being an edge guy, you really have to lock down on some responsibilities. You can cost the defense pretty big. So just making sure he's got all that ironed out. But man, situationally, 3rd and long, you want to get a pass rush going, whoo, he can go.
He is arguably the most physically gifted player on the team. I mean, the physical ability is off the charts, but similar to what we said about Elijah Thomas, has to be better at the boring parts of the position. Like the stuff that last year Ethan Downs was really good at.
Mm-hmm.
Good technique in the run game, being physical at the point of attack, being in the right gap, never making mental mistakes. Like that's the stuff that Okoye needs to continue to improve at. But man, if you could just let this guy go rush the passer, good things are going to happen. But he has to prove that he can do all the boring stuff as well with good technique. When
Yep.
you're out there, you will hear Venables yell, Danny, technique, Danny, technique, all practice long.
Yep.
But if he continues to become a more polished player, he is, I mean, the ability's off the charts, dude. It is.
Off the charts. Yep. He could when it there's moments where it clicks, like whenever you put him in like situational drills, it all clicks, but being able to play the entire game, an entire series, and going from situation to situation quickly, ball snapping fast, offense is up tempo, calls are coming in late. It can get chaotic out there. And I think that's maybe whenever he gets a little bit lost. But as a redshirt freshman, you're not going to find many more like NFL ready body types than what you see with Danny Okoye whenever he jogs out on the field. And the get off and the speed is matches with what he looks like physically. If you saw that guy and said, boy, but if he could get off and run, then we'd have something. Well, he can get off and he can run. So he's one of those guys that it wouldn't surprise you if he had like a huge breakout production year, but it also wouldn't surprise you if being thrown in the mix, the constant changing of game plans week in, week out, that he gets a little lost in that. So he's kind of at an interesting point to see where he goes. But he's another guy that was incredibly raw whenever he showed up and has made tremendous strides in just 1 year.
Let's not overcomplicate things with Okoye. At the very least, 3rd and long, 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, put the guy out there and let him go rush the passer. You don't have to make it any more complicated than that.
Yep.
At the very least, he's going to have that role or should have that role. All the other stuff is just gravy at that point, man. Like,
it reminds me of whenever I was at one of the practices and I was out there talking to Coach Venables, and I was like, man, 16 looks good. And he was going on about all the improvement he made. And he's like, but whenever first time he jogs out on the field, here comes the reverse. That's good. They're good, because he's so like wants to chase the ball down, wants to go get in on the action it's that responsibility piece that he's going to have to really dial in on. And people, once the film is out there, people see his athleticism, they're going to try and use it against him.
I'm fine with that.
Right.
If he's making splash plays that are making people go, "Oh man, we gotta do some stuff to slow 16
Hey,
down," I'm fine with that.
every now and then there's a guy on defense, and I mentioned this in the conversation. Like, as a linebacker, I'm like, you just go. If I know that you're just going, I can help make you right. Because you don't want to take away from him what his best, you know, trait is that he can fly. Let him go fly.
I'm not sure if he's going to be a starter or not, but hey, he's going to be one of those, let's call it four core rotational guys at defensive end.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll see, but I am just the ability is just it's impossible not to be extremely excited about what he can be as a player when you see his physical ability.
Totally agree.
Danny Okoye being a redshirt freshman on the roster is the only reason this conversation on the defensive side of the ball did not start with number 4, Courtland Guillory,
Yeah.
who, by the way, everyone is saying his name properly now, which is great.
We've we've all come to like everyone's finally in the right lane here.
With
Good.
with as many reps as he's taken with the ones all camp long, at this point, it would almost be like shocking if he's not playing meaningful snaps for this team.
I totally agree. Corner is probably the position where I don't I don't know who the first two guys that jog out are going to be.
They don't know.
There could be and it's not just one or two guys. It's a combination of about 4 or 5 guys, maybe more is kind of what it feels like to me.
I've got a few Guillory thoughts that I want to run by you. First of all, is it fair to say that he may just be the best pure cover corner on the roster already? I don't know if that's fair to Eli Bowen and fair to Gentry Williams because of the injury issues and them kind of being in and out of camp, or in Bowen's case, like hadn't really practiced. But just the times I've been out there, whether it's the one-on-one drills, like that type of stuff, he to me looks like maybe the most natural cover corner they have.
Yes, I will say this. Um, and this doesn't go for corner. It kind of goes for all freshmen. Um, it's kind of it's easier to go for broke and play ultra aggressive before you've been beat for a touchdown in front of 80,000 people or in front of a nationwide audience on television, because it's going to happen. And once it happens, it can have a tendency to change the way you view things and how you play things, if that makes sense. Now, the greats are able to walk away from that, totally forget it, and get right back out there and do what they do. That would be my only like little question mark there with Courtland Guillory. It's like, how's he going to respond to being exposed? Because it's a matter of time before it happens. Is he one of the guys that can get rid of it, come back, focus on it when it's time to learn from it, but keep his confidence and be able to get right back out there and be super aggressive over and over? Because a lot of those other guys have been in those moments, right? And we'll just see how he responds to it. Like, the mentality that I've seen, I think you may be right. If they're going man to man, Gentry Williams and Courtland Guillory may be your two guys that you throw out there if you need to lock down.
Well, just thinking, not to disrespect Illinois State, but like thinking ahead to week 2, if if you want to get an extra guy into the fit and play some man on the outside, like Guillory may be one of your
Yep.
guys at corner that week. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And especially with a true freshman at quarterback, possibly with Michigan, it's like we're going to pile the box. We'll make him throw against our good corners and see how things develop from there. But yeah, I agree with you. He's been great, shockingly great.
One other thing about Guillory, I feel like when you saw Eli Bowen out on the field last year, you're like, yeah, that's the freshman. And I know that Eli's not the biggest guy in the world, but that's not the case with Guillory. You walk out there and you see number 4 and you go, that's a good looking college corner already as a true freshman.
Yep.
I don't know if that means anything or matters at all, but it's just an observation about the guy. Like you walk out there and you go, man, 4 is that's a good looking corner. And then you find out he's a true freshman. You're like, oh, wow, that's a great looking corner then.
Yep. Yep. No, he's been good and he's been physical. He's game. When people try to run the ball, he'll come up and tackle. He'll put pads on you, and he's he's a dog out there. He wants to compete for the football. I've loved what I see from him, and I'm with you. Like he's been a constant with the ones out there. They've messed with different rotations and played a bunch of guys through there, but you may be right. If you tallied it all up through camp, it wouldn't shock me if he's taken as many or more reps than anyone.
Another defensive back to know is Jeremiah Newcombe, number 21, physical player. Think they really like his versatility, what he brings to multiple positions in the back end of the defense. Can play corner, can play cheetah. I think they probably could play him at safety if that became necessary. But Ted, I'm not entirely sure where he fits, but it feels like he will be in the mix for this defense as a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, he reminds me with the versatility. He reminds me of Bowman to a degree because Bowman played corner, he played safety. They played him at the nickel. Just
Kind of a similar build.
Similar build, and you like whenever Bowman's going to the NFL, what is he? Is he a nickel? Is he a safety? Turns out he's a safety. But I think it's the same with Newcombe. I think he's a really good playmaker up near the line of scrimmage. He's physical. He's shifty. Yeah, and that's the thing I love about the corner spot is you've got some different guys like a Jacoby Johnson who's a bigger, has got a bigger frame. If you're worried about being pulled into the run game, maybe as a corner, and you got good man-to-man guys, you got some zone guys, but Newcombe he's a guy that's going to play. I'm just not sure where exactly they're going to play him, where he'll see his first reps.
It's a good problem to have. This is not the type of discussion we've been having the last couple of years.
No.
So it's like, oh, we really like this guy. Not really sure where he fits. That conversation used to be like, hey, it is critical that he stays healthy. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, to your point, if Danny Okoye, Courtland Guillory, and Jeremiah Newcombe all jogged out there with the ones, you'd say, okay, let's see what they got. It's not like, oh my gosh, we got freshmen out there, we're in trouble. No, all of these guys, from what I have seen, are not liability players. They're not let the one catch a breather type of guy. They are players that go out there and can make competitive plays for you.
Any other freshmen, redshirt freshmen on the defensive side that we haven't mentioned? A guy like Trent Wilson?
They love him. Yep.
Everyone I've talked to about number 90, Trent Wilson, still haven't seen the guy smile. Say that
there's a reason he has not smiled.
I think it's fair to say he's been better than they thought he was going to be at this point. Like much better.
Yep. I think he's going to be a deep rotation guy. But I think he will play. I think he's going to play. Came in ready to work. That group is what I love about the defensive line is it's basically a pack. Everywhere they go, they are together, the entire group, and it's cool to see. They've got a really good camaraderie there, and he's fit right into that, and he's comfortable out there. He's done some good things. He sticks out in that group a little bit just because of how good like your front four are. But he's going to play for him this year. He's going to be in the rotation.
I think kind of a similar conversation around Wyatt Gilmore at the edge spot.
Mm-hmm.
Number 42. I've seen him take quite a few reps with the twos of practice, and I think they're pleased with how he's coming along physically. Like he's one of those guys, hey, physical guy on the edge, kind of in that Taylor Wine, going back to the Ethan Downs kind of mold of that type of player on the edge. We'll see if he plays. He'll play in the opener, but we'll see if he ends up playing like meaningful snaps throughout the rest of the season. Amarian Robinson, he looks really good in that
Really
number
good.
two.
Really good.
I've been impressed with. I think they really like what they've gotten from Malik Hawkins as well at corner. I think they're really pleased with how intelligent of a player he is and some of the stuff that he's done throughout camp. But you start looking at the defense, man. You got a bunch of veteran guys that have played a lot of football. You've got some young, talented guys. Like it's going to be difficult to get on the field.
Yep, it is, and that's how you want it. You want those guys, the young guys leveling up their play and pushing the older guys, but experience definitely matters. And that's kind of what going back to what I was saying about Guillory, one of the things I'm interested to see is how does he respond with the mistake out there on the field. I mean, I'm kind of in the same area with all of these guys, but I don't question it. I haven't seen anything that would lead me to believe that they won't be ready for that moment, but it's still something you have to watch how it plays out.
All right, let's get to call your shot. We asked you guys, what freshmen are you most excited to watch for OU this season? This one comes from Carson Kelly. He said, I've been saying irresponsible things about Elijah Thomas. Justin Smith adds Elijah Thomas. Coach Jones repeating Giovanni Gibson's comp of Thomas to Malik Neighbors has me juiced. The wide receiver group needs a big play threat to emerge. Burks, Satania, and Giovanni, once available, will be playmakers. Thomas could take our offense over the top. Can I just say one thing real quick?
Sure.
Maybe let's let the guy play a college football game before we compare him to a guy that was the sixth pick of the draft and had 1,200 yards receiving last year in his rookie season. I'm just saying.
Right.
Let's maybe calm down just a bit with those comparisons. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Uh, because I don't know if it does the player any good because it takes some time, but I agree on Elijah Thomas. It would not surprise me if he was a guy that his reps start off small, but he makes some big plays. Every time you go to him, he finds a way to come down with it, and that rep share grows throughout the year. Because I think that his upside is incredibly high. You just got to work there. You got to go do it where it counts.
This other one comes from at Big Homie Boomer, who says Michael Fasusi having a potential future top 5 pick at left tackle is a game changer. If he starts, I'm excited to see how much better he gets from game 1 to game 12.
It's kind of where I'm at.
I think that's very well put at Big Homie Boomer. Good stuff. One more. This one comes from Vinny Neckveins. Says Tory Blaylock, with all the preseason hype he's getting and how strong he's supposedly come on, we need to find a 2-back tandem combo for the future after Ott and Barnes are gone. If Blaylock can break ankles and Xavier can break through walls, watch out.
Yeah. we'll see. That position's been kind of hard to handicap without Ott in the mix a lot through training camp, and I just didn't get very many opportunities to see him out there.
He
And
did practice on Tuesday, so that's good news.
yeah, so I mean, I expect to see Jay not take the field out there and be, what we've hoped. And I think Blaylock's going to get a ton of opportunities to show what he's got. So wouldn't surprise me at all if by the end of the year we're looking at the distribution of carries and Blaylock's name is close to the top.
I'm going to ask you a tough question. Out of all of these guys that we've talked about, these freshmen, what guy are you most confident that will be a starter?
Like week one starter?
Like running out on Owen Field with the first group for the first snap or of offense or defense?
It's a tie between Guillory and Fasusi.
I completely agree with that. Maybe none of them run out with the first group. I don't know, but I think like if I had to bet, those would be the two guys that, because those are the guys that I've seen take the most reps with the ones in training camp. So that's my reasoning,
Right. Yeah.
Now they both gotten those opportunities because guys have missed time.
Mm-hmm.
But they've also made the most of those opportunities. So
hard to know, but I'm very comfortable saying that those two guys, if they don't run out with the first team, they'll be probably playing with the first team on the second series or very quickly.
Definitely agree. All right, let's finish up with our winners and losers of the week. But first,
Schwab Meat has been smoking the highest quality meats, hot dogs, and sausages in OKC since 1912. Go to schwabmeat.com to order any of Schwab's outstanding products and use promo code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab dogs are iconic. I like to keep it simple. Just a bun, dog, mustard, ketchup. Also, the jalapeno cheddar smoked sausage is ridiculous. schwabmeat.com, code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab Meat, the official hot dog of game days.
With ice cold beers, great food, and TVs all around, Pub W is the perfect spot to catch OU football and NFL Sundays. Pub W has been voted best happy hour 3 years in a row and serves brunch Saturday and Sunday mornings until 2 p.m. You can enjoy classics like chicken and waffles and their steak breakfast burrito, as well as unique dishes like the Big Country Benedict. Plus, brunch berries, mimosas, and espresso martinis. Visit pubw.com to find a location near you. Pub W, good food, good drinks, good people.
Insurica's launched a new digital agency introducing Insurica Direct. Whether you're in Oklahoma or anywhere across the U.S., they've got you covered. From small business insurance and health insurance for your employees to insurance for individuals like home, auto, and even Medicare supplements. Insurica Direct's got it all. Start your journey today at insuricadirect.com. Remember, at Insurica, we specialize in you.
As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
Well, it's week 0. I got to go with Farmageddon. All right, we're doing this thing over across the pond. I was frustrated all along that why they playing a rivalry game in week 0 may end up being the most pivotal, important game of the Big 12. Like the winner of this game may end up in the Big 12 championship. But after thinking about it and the fact that I'm starving for football, we got a great week 0 game right out of the gate, 11 a.m. in the morning. Dusty D's going to be over there on the call. And I think it's going to be a great game. 2 really good quarterbacks, Rocco Beck, Avery Johnson. It's hard to know this early in the year with, exactly what everyone's going to look like. Um, I think you got a new offensive coordinator at Iowa State, a new wide receiver group that they're trying to work in. Kansas State has, some new players they're trying to work through as well. It's just, I don't know, it makes for just an incredibly intriguing start to the college football season.
You wanna hear some analysis you're not gonna get anywhere else?
Sure.
I like Iowa State to win the football game.
Mm-hmm.
One main reason: the grass.
The grass.
The
Okay.
grass. I've
Thick,
been I've
fluffy.
been to this stadium. I've been to this stadium in Dublin. My feet have been on this grass. You know what grass it reminds me of?
Chicago Bears,
Ames, Iowa.
Ames, Iowa. Okay.
It's like cabbage, man. They're going to have the footwear. Iowa State is going to have the footwear advantage. Now you're going to test all your cleats in pregame, no doubt about it. But there's just something about being used to playing on a terrible grass
Mm-hmm.
that gives you an advantage. Remember, K-State, while
Turf.
very blue collar, all the respect in the world for that program, turf.
That's
I'm just
interesting.
saying,
That's
pay
interesting.
attention to the footing.
Yeah,
Grass a little different over there, Ted.
it is. It is. And Iowa State's had K-State's number recently. I think they've beat them the last couple of years.
Yeah, beat them last year 29-21, and turnovers were the big story of that
That's
game
right.
for Kansas State.
That's right. Avery Johnson, like he makes some big plays, but he puts the ball in harm's way frequently. If that's still an issue for him, we'll see.
One other thing is, and I don't love what has become like schematically of Kansas State football. Our guy Matt Wells is going to be calling plays. He's their OC now. He is a spread them out RPO guy. It's going to be weird to watch Kansas State do that.
No, no.
It is what it is, but Kansas State also plays the 3-3-5 defense under Klinderman. Out of all the units in this game, like, I trust Iowa State's defense to be the most consistent. It's been really consistent for a very long time. So I don't know. Avery Johnson, clearly, can he change the game with his legs? Yes. Did he make a lot of mistakes last year that cost him some football games? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Could that Iowa State defense trick him a little bit and he makes some mistakes? Absolutely. I don't know. I think these two teams are pretty evenly matched from a roster standpoint. Both teams lost a lot of production from a year ago. I I just have more faith in Matt Campbell and Iowa State.
Yeah.
That's just where I'm at with it. So I
I'm
would
too.
take the points. What, I think Kansas State's a 3-point favorite.
Yeah.
I'd take
That's where I'm at with it. I like Rocco Becht better than Avery Johnson. I think he's more consistent. He can move around back there.
He feels like he's less likely to get you beat,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Now, Avery Johnson could have solved a lot of those mistakes he made last year in the offseason. Like, he could be way more confident, and maybe Matt Wells is taking all the mistakes out of him. We'll see.
Yeah. It probably comes down to that, who's able to take care of the football better, limit the big crucial error. But I'm with you. Give me Iowa State.
Look at us, both on the Cyclones. I can't wait to talk to our boy Dusty Dvorak about his experience over there. I think he's been putting out pictures from London and everything. I imagine he's had an amazing time.
I bet it's been real cool. I bet it's been a nice little change of pace, and it's nice that it's week 0, so you get a little bit of time beforehand to go over there, hang out a little bit, and then call the game and come back and get to work. But I don't know. I think it's a great start to the season, and you know, I I picked Iowa State a long time ago, so I've kind of cornered myself into that position. But I still feel pretty good about
Did you see the name change, the subtle name change for the game?
it. Tell me about it.
So normally it's just Farmageddon, right? One word.
Yeah.
Since they're playing it in Dublin, they have gone with farm space O apostrophe Geddon. They've Irished
That's
it up, baby.
that's great. I like it. I
Should be
like it.
fun. But it's
No, it's going to be cool.
awesome opening game for the college football season.
It is. It is. It's going to be. I mean, it's the best game of week 0. I mean, by far.
No doubt. Who do you have as your loser of the week?
Well, I'm going between a couple of quarterback issues. I was thinking about the Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones saga there with the Colts. Daniel Jones wins out. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it.
I so this is so random. Went to the Kings of Leon and Zach Bryan shows at MetLife. Night one. Who did I spend most of the night with? Daniel Jones.
Okay.
And his brother were there.
Nice.
First time I've ever met him. And let's just say he was pretty confident that he was going to be the starting quarterback in Indy.
Okay. Well, he was right.
He was like, no, he was just like, hey, man, I think pretty confident I'm going to end up being the guy.
Huh.
What
Well,
that says about Anthony Richardson, that Daniel Jones was that confident when Indy drafted Anthony Richardson where they did, I'm just
yeah,
saying.
and it kind of that's there's no doubt in my mind that Daniel Jones is the better quarterback right now. I just wonder with like the draft pick you spent and you knew you were drafting a project, right? If ever anyone knew they were drafting a project at quarterback, it had to be Indianapolis with that selection. And he just hasn't played nearly as much football. And I think you got to at least let that run its course. I mean, does Daniel Jones limit mistakes and smarter with the football? Yeah, but what's your ceiling with Daniel Jones? My opinion, not very high.
Uh, your ceiling, 8 and 9,
Probably.
9
And
and 8.
but I think with Anthony Richardson, like if he can get more seat time and it clicks, I think his ceiling is way above. And maybe he never gets there, but I don't know that Daniel Jones puts you in such a better position that you don't at least see it through. But then again, I don't have eyes on the guys every day. They may look at Anthony Richardson and say it's never happening, right? So you do kind of have to
There's
trust the eyes on the field there to some degree.
there has to be a little of that, right?
Yeah,
For them to make this decision.
you would think.
It could be this simple, but this is year 3 for Shane Steichen in Indy. He's 17-17 as a head coach there. Guy's job may be on the line, man. And he may say,
Yeah.
I cannot deal with the ups and downs that are coming with Anthony Richardson. I like my job. I like being a head coach. Our GM likes his job. He likes being a GM. We just got to go with the more consistent guy that's going to
Yeah.
give us a chance to win games. It may be that simple. Like these guys want to keep their jobs.
Yeah, it may be. Well, um, the other way I was going to go is Florida. Lagway is just now taking his first 11 on 11 reps, not of camp, of the entire year. So, and I know that quarterbacks can get work in and he's there and he's going through the mental aspects of the game, but this is a player that was widely expected to make a massive leap this season. Some people have picked him to be first, second, third best quarterback in the SEC. And I don't know if you've noticed, there's some really good quarterbacks in this league. And I just wonder how much has this missed time set him back. Maybe he's one of those guys that he just comes right back out and does what he does. But you have to imagine all of those reps. I mean, how many thousands of practice reps are we talking throughout spring and training camp? How much is that going to set them back, and how much, like, where are they starting now as opposed to if they had Lagway the entire offseason? Like, where's the difference in the football team? They better get their stuff in order quickly because they got a crazy schedule.
Yes. I'm glad he's back out of practice. I want to watch the guy play. He is maybe the most physically gifted quarterback in all of college football. But those Florida fans have to be sitting there going, it's never a great feeling when your starting quarterback has missed so much time that you're sitting there just going, oh, please stay healthy.
Right.
Please don't get hurt in practice. Because remember, it was the shoulder thing. We're not even talking about the shoulder thing. He's missed all this time because I think it's been a calf.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a sports hernia mixed in there somewhere. Like, he has had multiple things. He had the hammy late last year that limited him and just didn't make him as effective as a player, even though they rattled off all those wins late last year. So I don't know, man. This is a guy that has been banged up. And when we talked about some of this stuff, that is why I'm lower on Florida than a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because of Lagway's issues and because that schedule is a beast. But I want to watch the guy play. Like,
yeah,
he's fun to watch. Like, I want to watch the best players in college football play college football. But yeah, if you're a Florida fan, it's got to be one of these things like where you're just holding your breath.
Yeah. I mean, they've got a couple of games early that, they can hopefully try and get things right. But I mean, back to your point, it's not just, oh, yes, he's finally back on the field. It's like, is this a ticking time bomb injury wise? Is he going to be able to play 12 games for us? I mean, we'll see. It's got to be nervous down there in Florida because this is a very pivotal year for the program.
Their O-line should be really solid. Their run game should be really solid. That'll help them out. But ultimately, if they want to have a big time season with that schedule, like, he's got to be a true difference maker at quarterback for him.
No doubt.
And it's hard to be a true difference maker if you're not healthy.
Not available. You got to be ready. You got to be, because it is a long season, and not knowing the true nature of the calf. I mean, the weird thing to me is he heard it in like the last conditioning session of summer workouts. Not a typical time where you see guys get injured early. Whenever you're going through the grind and the body's trying to get up to that level, yeah, but late, the last conditioning of the season, strange. And then it's lasted this long. Just odd.
I want him to be healthy. I want to watch him play. Florida fans have to be
Texas.
Yeah, Florida fans have to be just have to be a little scared with everything that is piled up from him from an injury standpoint. So
no doubt.
Glad he's back out there in the practice field. Wonder how that shoulder's feeling. Monitoring the calf, I'm over here going, okay, what's the velocity on that ball looking like?
If it doesn't feel good with 9 months of rest, it's never going to feel good.
I think we're not doctors, but that feels like an accurate assessment of the situation.
It better feel better than it has in a long time right now.
Let's get to my winner and loser. But first, 3 things matter in banking: service, service, and service. And First Fidelity Bank's commitment to exceptional service is more than a promise. It's their foundation. FFB has been by your side for over a century, and they are honored to be a part of your journey. Banking isn't about where you've been, it's about where you are headed. Open an account at an award-winning bank today at ffb.com. At First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go. And go to opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED for 10% off our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED. Buttery soft and 10% off. Chubby's has dropped some officially licensed NFL gear that will have you looking fantastic on Sundays to cheer your squad on. For a limited time only, use our exclusive code OKBreakdown for $10 off at chubbyshorts.com/OKBreakdown. Chubby's is the ultimate football apparel brand, so much so that they created their own fantasy football league. George Kittle, Ian Rappaport, and others have come together to assemble the Chubby's League on NFL Fantasy. Each week, the top 5 scorers will win a chance at a Chubby's polo and shorts combo with their team's logo. The grand champion gets the chance at the ultimate fan experience, a 5-city, 5-stadium NFL game tour with a +1. And the fantasy flop faces a hilarious and unforgettable punishment only Chubby's could pull off. Head to chubbyshorts.com/the Chubby's League to learn more and have some fun. Get ready for the most outrageous fantasy football season of your life. And would you look at that, folks? For a limited time, our friends at Chubby's are giving our listeners $10 off with the promo code OKBreakdown at chubbyshorts.com/OKBreakdown. That's $10 off your order with promo code OKBreakdown. And that includes the NFL collection. Support our show and tell them we sent you. Express yourself and level up your game day wardrobe with Chubby's. All right, for my winner of the week, I'm going settled QB battles, baby. It's that time of the year. Guys separating themselves. Yeah, guys separating themselves. Starters being named. Graphics being sent out by the team's social media channels. Like, it's just, and a lot of big time programs, Ted, where jobs were up for the line. So let's start with Ohio State, defending national champs. Julian Sayin, named as the starter for the Buckeyes, and it seems like his ability to process and to throw the football is what separated him from Lincoln Kienholz, but it is incredible how young this guy looks. They put out all those photos. I was like, oh my gosh, I know it's only his second year in college, but he looks so young.
He does. Babyface assassin out there.
Talented, but a baby-faced assassin. Like he can, I think that I feel like you've always seen Ryan Day naturally gravitate to the guys that can really rip it from the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Kienholz is one of these guys that they kept saying something about the Iron Buckeye and stuff like that. I think that means he's strong, like a strong athlete. And so I think he's maybe more of like a physical presence as a player. But I feel like Day always naturally gravitates to a guy that, hey, is playing quarterback, if that makes sense. Playing from the pocket. And that's what he wants that offense to be. You saw that last year with Will Howard. It's not like they dialed up a bunch of QB power with Will Howard like we saw at K-State for him. So it's just, I think Sayin kind of fits the mold that Day wants in his QB.
Yeah. Typically, they have enough skill talent around that the main focus of the quarterback is distributing the ball to the playmakers, right? Not necessarily being the main playmaker. Some teams have to rely on the quarterback to be the guy that goes out and does that. But, with maybe the best player in college football at wide receiver and Jeremiah Smith, like you need a guy that can operate really well from the pocket quickly, efficiently. So we'll see. I mean, I frankly don't know anything about the guy. I'm anxious to see what it looks like, though.
I've seen the clips of some of his throws in his limited time from a season ago and then stuff from their spring game. And guy looks like he can rip it, but we'll get Sayin versus Arch Manning in the opener.
Well, that's as big of an opportunity as you can have to make a statement in your first start.
On your home field.
On your home field.
No pressure, young guy. You got it. No pressure. Number 1 team in the country coming to town, defending national champs.
I will say, like, that game to me, it's big. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to watch it. But there's going to be a lot of declarations about who's going to be what coming out of that game. And I don't think it is going to be any type of real great gauge on either team. I think Ohio State is probably going to start lower and end really good. And I would say that may be the same thing for Texas a little bit with some of the new things that they're working out position-wise on offense.
That is entirely too reasonable of a stance to take on that football game. What are you doing?
There's going to be a great team and a terrible team coming out of that one from a lot of people's opinion.
I speak for yourself. I plan on overreacting like crazy to whatever happens in that game. On here, buddy.
I don't plan on it, but it'll probably happen.
I cannot wait for that football game. All right, another big job. CJ Carr named the starter at Notre Dame. Lloyd Carr's grandson, now the starter at Notre Dame. How about that, Ted?
Pretty wild. That was an interesting one. I'm not sure what I think of Notre Dame this year. I know a lot of people have put them right back up there, but their offensive line, at least right now, is going to be a little bit of a work in progress. Defensively lost a bunch of really seasoned, experienced players. They got an incredible running back, which helps a ton, but Notre Dame's an interesting football team for me this year.
Yeah. High expectations.
Yep.
A lot of talent on the roster, but can they replicate the magic of a year ago? I don't know.
I don't know either.
But we'll see what CJ Carr's got. Tennessee announced that Joey Aguilar will be the starter for the Vols. Remember, he's basically who they traded Nico for at UCLA, right? Hey, we're going to do this little switch, right? And Ted, you just have to assume the fan base is going to be rooting extra hard for this guy to succeed.
Oh yeah, they want to be able to come away from that whole situation and be able to point and laugh. It's crazy though. You look at all the names we've gone through so far. Tough openers. All right. For their first starts, no one's just able to dip their toe in the water. Even Tennessee's got a pretty dangerous game against Syracuse.
Yeah, CJ Carr will be taking on Miami. We mentioned Julian Sayin in the just massive matchup with Texas. And then Aguilar will be, who knows what Syracuse is going to be now that Steve Angeli, the Notre Dame transfer, has been named as the starter.
Right.
Watch out. Watch out for the orange.
Yep.
Well, and that's an offense last year that produced.
Right.
I mean, Kyle McCord went there and threw the ball all over the yard. So it's not exactly a layup for Tennessee in their opener against Syracuse. That's going to be a lot of orange, by the way. A lot of orange.
Overload.
Too much orange for me. But yeah, you're right, man. There's some really interesting matchups in week one. And this may be my favorite quarterback development of the week. BYU's QB1 announcement is it's great. True freshman, Bear Bachmeier.
What a name.
Has been named the starter. Now, first true freshman ever to start for BYU. Been some really good quarterbacks at BYU.
Crazy. When we played out there and I was walking around like the press box, you forget how many good quarterbacks have played there. And I was like, oh, all these pictures hanging up. So yeah, you're exactly correct there.
So you've got the fact that, first of all, Bear Bachmeier's name is Bear Bachmeier. It's amazing. He's the first true freshman ever to start at BYU. But it gets better. He will be rocking number 47 as the starting quarterback.
Unreal.
The guy's name is Bear, and he's rocking 47, Ted. Just fantastic stuff. I'm jealous. Amazing.
I hate it pretty much for any situation other than this specific one. BYU, true freshman, Bear Bachmeier. It just happens to work perfectly for this very specific situation.
Would you believe me when I tell you it gets even better?
Okay.
Bear Bachmeier will be throwing passes to his brother, Tiger Bachmeier, who also transferred from Stanford to BYU. Bear to Tiger for the Cougars.
Bear to Tiger for the Cougars. Unbelievable.
Truly amazing.
That?
I rarely get jealous of other radio broadcasts. Kind of jealous that the guys at BYU get this. This is content gold. I'm jealous.
You do start to get the suspicion that Bear's future child will be named Cougar, right?
It feels like a natural progression.
That's pretty cool. Bear and Tiger. I like it. Keep it simple in the naming. Let's keep it right in the same framework. Beautiful.
Consistency. There's beauty in consistency.
That's right.
Well done. He's got to be related to the guy that was at BYU. What was it? Hank Bachmeier? Got to be the same family.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. All right. Loser of the week. Give me Auburn. Where do we start? I mean, we got to start with the national championships thing. I understand that a lot of schools out there claim national championships that they probably have no business claiming. Like, I get it. This is not only an Auburn thing. It's the timing that is not great for Auburn here. So their leadership has decided to claim 3 more conference titles in the past and 4 more national championships in the past. That brings their conference title count to 15 and their national championship count now to 9, because the national championship number is a little interesting. Ted, we went and played a football game there, or we went and called a football game there last year.
Right.
I looked up in Jordan-Hare Stadium and I saw 2 years next to the national championship sign.
That's right.
1957 and 2010. I saw it with my own eyes. I even went back on my phone because I like to take a video of every stadium we go call a game, especially when we're there for the first time. And I said, yeah, there's only 2 numbers up there. They've only been recognizing 2 AP national championships in their stadium. Saw it with my own eyes. But I guess they have always quietly noted 3 more national titles in their media guides. And now they're adding 4 more to that, and they're doing signage for all of it. Going from 2 to 9 is a big jump, dude.
Yeah.
That's tough to pick font size for in the stadium. Like, that's a tough adjustment.
Especially whenever you're like, it's one thing to claim I don't know, one from the 50s or 60s.
Yeah, it's
but a 1910 championship they're going to claim.
I don't care about that one. Like, they're claiming 1910, 1914, and 1958. Who cares? Whatever. The system was a bit of a mess, and from what I've read, they may have a legitimate claim to some of this. I don't care. The one that is preposterous is 2004.
Yeah.
Listen, if anyone knows how good that USC team was that season, it's OU fans.
Right.
We watched that bloodbath and had our hearts ripped out. We get it. I get that Auburn went undefeated that year and didn't make it into the BCS title game, but you simply cannot claim that title when that USC team existed. Come on, guys. What are we doing? That USC team would have absolutely run that Auburn team, and everyone knows it.
Yep. I agree. You're not going to find any alternate claim here. That's one of the best teams in the last 25 years, easily.
The thing that makes this not great for Auburn is just the timing. Because Auburn has been, let's go with a confusing content machine. Dude, over the last couple months.
It's been this timing when everyone's dialed into college football as opposed to a cold February, slow news day. I mean, it's interesting.
let's not forget this all the Auburn content this summer all started with Hugh Freeze's golf rounds in his
Right.
handicap. Let's not forget about that one. That was elite summer content. Then we had the news where he said like they're going to have multiple play callers handling different downs, and then it came out that Freeze can overrule either of them whenever he wants. Like it just sounds like a mess.
Mess.
Then you had the Jackson Arnold video,
Yep.
which I did see one of him throwing a back shoulder or kind of like a jump ball to Cam Coleman. Looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
We got to mention that when you also have the other video that exists. But this announcement of, hey, we're claiming 4 more national championships, and we actually have 9 now, comes on the heels of the Jackson Arnold video and right on the heels of a Hugh Freeze quote where he was asked if they could play all 3 quarterbacks against Baylor, and he said yes. So I don't know. It just feels like a smoke screen for their fan base.
And the Cam Newton jersey retirement over the top of all of it.
That makes me the most upset. This has overshadowed what was a very cool thing. Like everyone was saying, oh, finally, Cam Newton is getting his jersey retired at Auburn. I said it on the radio broadcast last year when we went there for the first time. They have very few people retired like in their ring of honor. And it was one of the first things I said on the broadcast. I was like, how is Cam Newton's number not retired here? That's crazy. Well, now it is. But now that has been overshadowed because they're claiming national championships
Right.
right before the season
Like
starts.
that barely even made the news with Auburn that they're retiring Cam Newton's jersey.
That was very frustrating. Like he deserved to not have that overshadowed by this nonsense.
Yeah.
I just Auburn's certainly not born. I know that.
No, and I don't know what to make of it. Like with Hugh Freeze, the playing 3 quarterbacks, I either they are vastly uh they're not giving enough credit to Baylor, and you feel like, yeah, we'll just go beat them. Maybe we'll play all 3 quarterbacks. I don't think that's it. Maybe they've got a legitimate 3 quarterback battle going on. I tend to think that's probably not it. It's probably just Hugh Freeze, camouflaging whatever it is that they're trying to do. But still, with the time that it comes, with people curious as to what it actually does the quarterback situation look like, just adds a whole nother layer to the whole situation.
Is it possible that this is actually just a phenomenal maneuver by Auburn's leadership? Hear me out. Everyone's kind of been piling on Auburn recently, right?
Yep.
Hugh Freeze, QB situation. So you throw this out there knowing that everyone else, like all the other fan bases, are going to make fun of you. But if you're an Auburn fan, you go, wait. We can make fun of ourselves for this. You can't make fun of us for this. We have a legitimate claim. It actually like unites the fan base when there has been, let's be real, a little uneasiness, some unrest. Is this actually just a brilliant maneuver? Hey, let's claim these national championships because it's like your little brother. Like you can make fun of your little brother. Someone else can't make fun of your little brother.
Yeah.
Auburn fans can make fun of themselves for the new claimed national championships, but other fan bases can't. It actually unites the Auburn fan base.
Circle the wagons. Here we go.
Am I giving them too much credit, or is that what is happening here? This is actually a brilliant move by Auburn to unite the fan base when it's been a little uneasy lately.
No, that's not what's happening. I like your thought though.
I tried.
Yes, you are giving them too much credit. If there was any like thought at all to the timing of what's going on, the only thing that I could think is look over here, don't look over here. But it's all about to be exposed anyway. So I guess we'll find out. maybe it's just the nature of how things unfolded, and the progress of the football team is just they're right on line with where they want to be. It's hard to know. It really is.
I saw that because I always see stories like this and I'm like, okay, how would I feel about it if it was OU? And I guess we have something like 10
10
that are
unclaimed.
unclaimed that like some sort of argument can be made for. And going from 7 to 17 would be kind of sick. Let's be real.
Yeah, there's a couple of unclaimed national championships that we have during our 47 game win streak. So
It would be cool to add some, but it'd also be super lame and we'd have to make fun of ourselves on here.
I have wondered that, is this going to set off like a chain of people claiming all kinds of national championships?
It feels
Why
like it.
not? Like, what's if you can sustain the 3 or 4 days of people laughing at you, there becomes like a diminishing. Everyone will forget over time that mixed in with your legit championships are some wild claimed ones. It may be the way to go.
I guess it's not that difficult to change the motto from the chase for 8 to the chase for 18.
Right, right. Just overnight.
Just add a 1. It's fine. No, I hope we do not do that. If we do it, am I going to make fun of Oklahoma football and will we move on quickly? Of course. But the having 7 Heisman Trophy winners, having 7 national championships, there is just there's a little
Yeah.
synergy there. It's nice.
Well, I don't know if you saw this, but in light of Auburn claiming some national titles, I did see a thread on, yeah, it's ridiculous to go back and claim national championships, but let's take a close look at some legitimate championships that people already have hoisted as legitimate. Did you see that thread?
I did not.
There's like 5 or 6 of them in there that are pretty ridiculous. I think Alabama was in there, Tennessee was in there. There's some pretty wild title claims, like whenever there's undefeated number 1 teams in the country that claim the legitimate title, that these schools like have proudly called these like legit championships, and you like, is that I don't think so. It's not even a not even a good claim to it. Definitely not a great claim.
I I am of the belief like the fans care about this stuff. I don't think recruits or transfer portal guys care about this at all anymore.
No,
I
it's the way the list is of priorities on where you're going to play is constantly changing, and money has gotten really high, and history is probably taking the biggest hit.
maybe my hottest take from this is Auburn should not do this because putting those letters up on the stadium costs money. Reprinting all the media guides and changing all the years and that all costs money. Money they should be spending on their players instead of on that.
Right. Which that reminds me, did you see, was it Middle Tennessee is ditching their, I guess they've always worn a bunch of helmets. They had like 4 different helmets, and they're just going to wear one, and it saves them $600,000 that they can spend on NIL and athletic department.
Just need one helmet.
Just need one.
One helmet, 2 jerseys. That's all you need.
I don't think you'll get any complaints from the players.
No. Meanwhile, Auburn is having to figure out what font size they're going to have to build for the 9 national titles they're going to claim in their stadium now. That's how I understood it. Is like, hey, they're putting 9 years up there now when they had 2.
Man, that's interesting. Good luck
That
to them.
interesting, certainly a word for it.
The there's been a lot of conversation. It'll die down, but it'll ramp back up if they get beat by Baylor.
Oh yeah, 9-time national champion Auburn blown out in opener better be the headline. Baylor's got a dude at quarterback, by the way.
They
Whew.
do I think Baylor's going to win that game personally.
Austin Woods, friend of the pod, now on the Baylor staff. So I will be
Oh,
cheering
cool.
hard for the Baylor Bears.
Nice.
Birthday shout outs. Happy first birthday to Lena Bergen.
Yes.
Bergen. Bergen. Bergen, not Bergen. Bergen. Hard
That's
G,
right.
right?
I think so.
Okay.
Happy 6th birthday to Maverick Mellencamp.
What a name. That's awesome.
What a name.
Happy 15th birthday to Emmett Choppies Spida Dairy. Emmett Dairy, happy birthday. Choppies Spida, is that's a nickname?
I think so.
Chopies Spider, Choppies Spider. It's Chopies Spider.
Chopies Spider. I like it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sweet.
Happy birthday. Happy 30th birthday to Kendall Jennings.
You're getting all the easy ones.
I know.
Happy 33rd birthday to Corey Howard.
Happy 70th birthday to Randy Sexton.
And happy birthday to Kenny from Cowtown.
Nice. Happy birthday, Kenny.
On that note, episode 556 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop on Sunday. It's bold predictions time.
Yeah.
We're going to throw out some irresponsible predictions. Can't wait. It'll be a lot of fun. It's always fun.
Always fun.
Just a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our website, okbreakdown.com. We hope you all have a great rest of your week. Have an awesome weekend. Until next time, we appreciate you all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.
Boom.